The reporter Vice President team has arrived in Turkistan, one of the oldest cities in Kazakhstan and home to the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Khoja Ahmed Yasawi Mausoleum. Once the ancient capital of the Kazakh Khanate, today the city attracts hundreds of thousands of tourists annually to offer them a glimpse into the beauty and splendor of the ancient sites along the Silk Road. President of Kazakhstan, Tokayev, is expected to arrive here to hold an informal meeting with the chairman of the Halk Maslahaty of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. We will be following the agenda of the visit from Central Asia's Spiritual Center to keep you informed, so let's get started. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov steps up out of the board. The president of Kazakhstan hosts his guest, the chairman of the Halk Maslahaty of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. The ties between the two countries are very, very strong. Let me remind you that the president of Kazakhstan paid his official visit to Ashgabat at the end of the last year. Then the counterparts agreed on making a declaration on strengthening friendship and multidimensional strategic partnership. And let me remind you, more recently, the leaders of all Central Asian states gathered together in Samarkand city, Uzbekistan, to take part in the CAEU summit. So the high-level political dialogue have become urgent in the region with a strong focus on economic development and integration. So let's see what will be on the agenda of this visit. Or Ethna Village is a reconstruction of the ancient Kazakh city with its customs and traditions. The 16,000 square meters area introduces tourists with the heritage of the medieval Kazakh settlements, where the nomadic and sedentary lifestyles of the people residing in these places intertwine. So the visitors and tourists can embark on the journey through the ancient Kazakh settlements and understand the sacred meaning of the rituals and introduce themselves with the historical heritage of the region. But before visiting an ethnic village of Turkistan, Tokayev and Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov sight the interior of the great monument built in the 15th century, the Khoja Ahmed Yasawi Mausoleum. The honored guests paid tribute to the memory of the prominent medieval thinker Khoja Ahmed Yasawi, as well as acquainted themselves with the restoration and research works being carried out in the mausoleum. Tokayev and Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov used the electric car to move to the next location. Now, the Oriental Bazaar, with the best works of folk craftsmasters in woodworking, weaving, felting and pottery, is presented to the head of state and his honored guest. Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov is particularly impressed by the gracefulness of the Kazakh dog breed, the Tazy, and in general by the Kazakh customs and rituals that were preserved till nowadays.
For me, first of all, it was a great honor to represent Kazakhstan and to share our intangible cultural heritage. I was especially pleased that during this event, the president highlighted how Kazakhs have traditionally hunted the Tazy dogs, spoke about Asık, one of the most popular folk games in Central Asia, and noted that we managed to recreate the authentic atmosphere of a Kazakh aul. That made us really happy. So I can proudly say that Turkistan is a city of craftsmen, a place where our intangible heritage has been preserved. And today we were able to show that that this heritage is not only alive but continues to grow and evolve.
The second day of the visit will start shortly with bilateral negotiations in the narrow format.
The bilateral meeting is underway. The counterparts are discussing the perspectives of the Kazakh-Turkmen relations in a context of a declaration of strategic partnership.
Welcoming the distinguished guest, the head of state thanks him for visiting Turkistan and congratulates Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov on the start of the International Year of Peace and Trust, emphasizing that this initiative, supported by the UN, shows Turkmenistan's strong international reputation.
It is encouraging to see that the cooperation between our countries is progressing successfully. We have strategically important projects in the pipeline, particularly in the gas sector and in transport and logistics. We're closely monitoring this work as its outcomes will play a key role in ensuring the continued high-quality development of our economic partnership.
Cooperation in the gas field is one that's been assessed by counterparts as the most important. Kazakhstan is ready to co-invest in one of the biggest gas fields in the world, Galanesh, and to become a customer of the gas from Turkmenistan.
Overall, the Galanesh project is demonstrating solid progress. A new financial model is being developed in collaboration with potential partners currently engaged in negotiations with Turkmengas, and we are also contributing to this process in a constructive and forward-looking manner.
Could you also share an update on the current status of gas infrastructure development in Kazakhstan?
During today's event, we held in-depth discussions with our counterparts and agreed to convene follow-up meetings in May and June to ensure continuous and coordinated engagement moving forward.
Another important part of the dialogue with Turkmenistan is logistics and the development of transport connectivity.
The second block of questions concerns the North-South corridor. We have recently signed a trilateral document between Kazakhstan, the Russian Federation, and Turkmenistan, which provides for the elimination of bottlenecks and the expansion of cargo transit capabilities along the route from Belarus and Russia through Kazakhstan to Turkmenistan and onward to Iran, as well as in the reverse direction. I would also like to highlight the signed agreement in the field of road transport, within which we are discussing the improvement of infrastructure conditions. This year we will begin repairs of the road section from the city of Zhanaozen to the border with Turkmenistan.
See that the head of state, Tokayev, and the chairman of the Halk Maslahaty of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, are attending the exhibition of the best local enterprises and the products which are made in Kazakhstan. It includes, for example, automobiles, but also the military equipment and many, many more. So this is the vital part of the visit, informal visit of Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov to Kazakhstan.
The particular interest is sparked by the agricultural machinery that is now assembled fully in Kazakhstan. Dinara Shukizhanova, who shares the plans of this major project, introduces the distinguished guest with the importance of domestic production.
Thanks to a consistent protectionist industrial policy, these brands have entered the Kazakh market and established production facilities within the country. Currently, various types of combines and tractors are being manufactured, and today we discussed the arrival of a major investor, John Deere, the global leader in agricultural machinery manufacturing. The entry of this investor opens the door for other brands in related sectors, such as mounted and trailed equipment, as well as irrigation technologies. As part of this project, 350 jobs will be created in core production, along with 1,500 jobs in related industries. Most importantly, we will be bringing cutting-edge digital technologies into Kazakhstan's agriculture sector.
The industrial park in Turkestan currently includes 60 investment projects with a total cost of 36.5 billion tenge. It is also planned to build 112 additional facilities on its territory, as well as launch 13 new projects worth almost 40 billion tenge. Foreign investors are very much
much in favor of using this opportunity to do business in Kazakhstan.
At present, we're implementing a cotton cluster project in Turkistan region, covering the entire production chain from cotton planting to the final product. The total investment amounts to $400 million, of which $160 million has already been invested. Currently, 32,000 hectares of cotton have been sown, and the processing facility will be completed by the end of this month within the Turan Special Economic Zone. The plant is scheduled to open in October this year and will produce cotton yarn for fabric manufacturing. The goal is to produce up to 400 million sets of bed linen annually.
The visit now is approaching its final accord. The head of state accompanies his distinguished guest to the airplane and then takes off back to Astana. Central Asian dialogue is becoming increasingly important, along with regional cooperation in trade, the economy and people-to-people contacts. It's all about establishing political dialogue that enables and supports the socio-economic development of a region as a whole. That's it for today. For more episodes of the Reporter with President special project, follow us on our social media platforms. See you next time. Bye-bye.